Welcome back to Beyond the Field podcast. We are back on the couch after a vlog last week. If you haven't seen that already, go watch it now and then come back. Today we are watching, or we watched. Oh, right. Ha! I'm Rose.
I'm like, wait, what do you mean? I'm Meadow. Hey, we're your hosts for the episode.
And we are watched Iron Man 2. See our outfits. It's giving very much Fury and Natasha Romanoff.
Okay.
I have my badge for proof. All right.
Ducky is also strapped.
Strapped.
Play with them.
For YouTube purposes, these are literally just paper. Please don't take our video down or something. I don't even think they're paying that close attention to us. Hopefully. Let me not jinx it.
Okay, right, because they will be paying attention to us.
Knock on wood.
We're getting bigger and better every day.
Period. Anyway. I have glasses as well, but if I put them on, I won't be able to read what I wrote down. Alright. So, you ready to just jump right into this?
Yeah, let's get froggy. Oh, belly flop. Yeah. That sounds like it would hurt.
Into the pool?
That's what they be saying. Yeah, then they say that.
Well, yeah, the whatever science, friction.
Whatever science. Okay. Oh, before we start.
Oh.
This is directed by Jon Favreau. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. And then, dude, did you know that Happy is the director?
Really?
Yes, Jon Favreau is Happy.
Oh.
Yeah, he directed this one and he directed Iron Man 1. And I do want to bring up how the ladies were acting in this movie.
So, yeah, that's disappointing.
Yeah, just a little bit.
But that's why we like
up.
Characters and not actors. Because you have to separate the character from the actor.
You do. Very interesting. But yeah. And this, we get our switch from, what's his face? The other Team Man who was supposed to be Rhodey in the last episode. In the last Iron Man. And now it's Don Cheadle. He is Rhodey. Mm-hmm. And now we can get into that episode.
We'll jump into that later.
Later movie.
Editing. No, that's more work for you. I'm so sorry. All right. So to start off, I liked how in the beginning how they recapped the last movie.
Yes.
And I don't remember if they recapped in Deadpool, but I feel like in like more recent films, I feel like they expect us to know what happened already.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of sequels. But yeah, I just wanted to know that was really a creative way to like recap what just happened. And plus, I think this is only like the second film that the MCU brought out, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Yes, I definitely brought that up. I was like, oh, it starts off at the ending from Iron Man 1. Like, that's so cute. I love that. So I definitely noticed that and brought that up as well. What's next?
Okay. I remember like when I first watched the movie, I was so confused in the beginning how Anthony,
that's his name.
We're gonna get into that. How Howard had anything to do with Homeboy's father, Ivan's father. I was like, how are they connected? Like, what do you mean he stole his designs? And then when I rewatched it, I was like, oh, it's literally on the blueprint. Like, there's literally a blueprint in the first 3 minutes of the film.
Dude, and that's so funny that you brought that up because I wrote that down. I was like, Howard Stark, once again, making enemies for Tony to face. Like, this is another example of this. And then it's like, also, this guy is so much, like, displacing his anger. Can you chill low-key? Because, like, the son, Ivan. Well, I guess he's like, you know, your daddy did my daddy wrong, so now I'm about to do you wrong.
That's how villain arcs work.
But it was just like Tony didn't do nothing to them personally.
Also, his scream was so forced and fake. I didn't even write that down, but that was so annoying.
What, his scream?
His scream in the beginning.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, what? What the heck was that? There was no oomph. You know? Like, they should have reshot that.
His daddy just died. Okay, and the last words he was saying to him was, "I can't give you nothing but my knowledge."
He goes,
ah! He don't cry. He screams. Let that man process his anger as he needs.
He clearly processes it incorrectly. Because now,
as we can see,
he's, Anyways. Yep. So, to start off, I wanted to know in the beginning, he kept stressing how, like, he's keeping the peace and, like, Tony, keeping the peace and he's, like, the only person around that can keep the peace and yada, yada, yada.
Privatizing world peace. Like,
yeah. And, like, are you, though? Like, what peace are you keeping? But it also knows, I learned this a while ago, like, you can't have a hero without a villain. Like, if you're a hero, a villain's gonna come. And I feel like this is the perfect example of, like, the hero before the villain comes. Yeah. Like, oh, this life is great. I can do anything. I am so protecting you guys, yada, yada, yada.
And it's, like, also, though, protecting them from what? Because in the first movie, those attacks were, like, strictly for Tony. Mm-hmm. They weren't attacking the United States. Well, I guess, the weapons dealer guy, what was his name? Jebediah. He was making deals with the peeps in the Middle East. In the Middle East that were trying to, go around terrorizing their people. But also with them, it's not like their agenda was coming after America. They were trying to mess with their own people. So it's like,
but he was also,
who was he protecting America from?
He noted how Jesus.
We said we're using our brain.
He, like, solved, like, the conflicts between countries. So he's claiming, I'm guessing he's claiming that he solved the conflict in the Middle East. He's like, they're done. I cleared it up.
Right.
That's what I'm assuming.
He
and I'm
just
like,
killed a whole bunch of people and then dipped. He don't know what's going on afterwards. Like, anyway, when he was saying that he privatized world peace, I was like, wow, Tony is practically like the poster child for what world America peace? Is. No, like what America is. This kind of like he's so American. Like, he is what America made him. Like, America gives people all of this, certain kinds of people, all this access and power to be and do whatever they want. Okay, then he does it well, and then he's like, oh, whoa. You're too American for us. We need to shut this down. He start off with the cheerleaders in front of the American flag. He's just too patriotic for them, and they can't handle it.
Well, yeah, because they can't control him.
Exactly. They only want controlled patriotism. Okay, don't be too patriotic without the
and
American
they lost
approach.
That down in the ice.
Okay.
Oh, too good with it. Also, this, like, transitions into what I thought, like, his ego. Mm-hmm. His ego came up multiple times, like, how big his ego is, and also people, like, knocking down his ego.
Yes, literally. Because I, like, right at the end of that scene where he was wrapping up, talking about, yes, I privatized world peace, like, me, I'm the savior, I'm the one, and he's going around shaking everybody's hand, and then it goes to, it cuts to, what's baby boy's name?
Ivan?
Yes, it cuts to Ivan, and he's there like, ooh, I'm working on my stuff because I'm about to take you down a peg. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, it's so interesting because they don't like when someone is that arrogant and has so much power and so much access, but also, like, isn't a villain. Like, there's no like, he's not out to harm people. He's trying to do good. He's just also very arrogant, and which is annoying. And so people want to take him down a peg, like, just because.
Deserved.
But, like.
But yeah. like going into the Ivan, I feel like he's the first person to like knock down his ego. I don't remember exactly what they were saying, but in the jail cell, everything out his mouth was shots. I was like, damn, like he getting you hard. Man. Not like that. He's
oh my goodness. I thought that we were done with this with Howard. Okay, but here you go. Talking about jail shit.
That wasn't
shots hitting them hard. You see how she like
that was not on purpose.
Great.
But like you can clearly see it hit Tony.
You lose. He walked out, he was laughing. Sad.
Clearly see the conversation like struck Tony in the bone, but he wasn't gonna let it show. But like everything he said was facts. Like damn, like he got you, bar after bar after bar. And then I wrote down more examples. Oh, also like him trying to. Let me rewind. The race. Also another scene where I was a little confused at first. I was like, why is everyone so stressed out that he's driving this car right now? No, he's driving like in a real race. Like the Grand Prix is like bigger than NASCAR type race. Yeah. And he wasn't supposed to be doing that.
No, like you can see the guy who was supposed to be driving throw his helmet down
I saw it this time.
And you know what? He probably was low-key relieved because like, hey. Afterwards, crazy man was out there on the track slashing cars and half. Thank God Tony decided to get behind the wheels.
Yeah, but like that's another hint at his ego, thinking like, I don't need training. Like I could do this. It's my car.
But see, that's the thing though. With this movie, this one is really special in particular when it comes to like his ego and his sporadic
nature.
Yeah, because like he's dying and so he's thinking this is his last hurrah, and so right before he goes out into the track he's like, dang, he's like contemplating something that happened right before in the bathroom. He's like stressed out and he
tests his blood
toxicity levels.
Toxicity.
Yup. English. We was just talking about it. Crazy language. Anyway though, yeah, he tests his blood toxicity level and then he's just like, dang, what other kind of bad ideas can we get into?
Fourth wall break too. Right in the camera.
In the camera-ish, like he was talking, it's his reflection.
It's still right in the camera. You're not supposed to look at the camera ever. Right in the camera.
That's not true.
That is true. No, in the world of filming, you're not supposed to look in the camera.
It's not like you're not supposed to look into the camera. You can look into the camera.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can. If it's a purpose of looking into the mirror.
If it's a fourth wall break, yes. But when people are looking into the mirror, they're looking to the side of the camera.
See, listen, there are rules in film, but the rules are there not to be followed. You know the rules so that you can break the rules.
On purpose, for a reason.
Yeah, but that's not a fourth wall break because he wasn't talking to us. He was talking to himself. He just
he looked right in the camera.
Yeah.
Whatever you call it, but we're going to the same conclusion here. We're saying the same thing. What the heck? Moving on. Jesus Christ.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry to break to a freaking sweat. Anyways, another example of his ego that I wanted to touch on was how, I forget who says it. I think it was Fury. Touched on how he's a lone wolf and stuff. But like the fact that he's a lone wolf led to him dying more and failing. Because as soon as he accepted other people's help is when he started to bright ideas, cure himself, you know? So like the ego that I don't need anyone, I can do this by myself, fails him in the end, you know?
I wonder if it was like, I feel like it's all a product of how he was raised, because like he was raised issues. Daddy parental issues in general.
Well, I feel like they, in the third one, I believe they hint on his mother was
a little bit, yeah. With the little situation that they curated.
Like she was at least there more than his father. But
I guess.
Not there enough to talk about her more.
Mm-hmm. So just he used to doing it by
Daddy
himself.
issues in bold, mommy issues really small.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. The cups, you got a lot of daddies. Just a little.
Just a sprinkle. Like a mimosa.
Right. This little essence of orange juice. You're
Anyways.
silly. Okay, but you have mentioned the lone wolf part. What part of the movie are we
at? So how I'm doing this, I'm like going in order, but I'm like clumping themes together.
Okay.
So like we don't talk about his ego right now, and then like 30 minutes later talk about it again. Like we already covered that.
Okay, what else about his ego?
That was it. I only had those points.
Okay, what's next?
I also didn't write timestamps this time because it's too much work. Anyways, just wanted to. We're still in the beginning technically. Because Stan appears. He appears really early this time.
And he was Larry King.
Larry King, which is really odd. Like, it wasn't like that significant of an appearance this movie, I feel like.
I feel like it's never super duper significant. It's always something like light and silly. Like in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, he was just the library man listening to music. Like, he didn't say anything. But,
like, I feel like it was better that one because, like, they were fighting in the back, you know? Like, it was...
Like we saw
a little more important.
Longer.
Yeah. This one was just like, oh, Stan needs to be in here. You know? Yeah.
Well, I think it's because also, like, where else would they fit him in at? Like, where else would they find a cute little funny moment to fit him in?
He could have been one of the people in the race.
What is the zoom zoom people?
The engineer mechanic people, when they take the wheels off, they go zoom 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 zoom. Then they pick it off and they go zoom zoom zoom.
The pit stop.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
pit stop crew.
Yeah. Them.
You are so silly.
He could have been at his birthday party.
Maybe, but it looked like he had the biddies at his birthday party.
He did.
Not the old folks. Yeah. I don't know. This movie's about death and friendship and love. Just a little bit.
Like mimosa. Next. Anyways, also a small little note to remember for the audience, if you're watching with us, keep Senator Stern's face in your brain. It's not gonna come up for a long time, but just keep it right in your noggin. Okay?
Tucked away.
Yep. Okay. You touched on this a little bit. It's very interesting. Not interesting. I feel like this movie gets a little political-ish because it's like, what is the government allowed to do? Like, when is the government allowed to step in and be like, no, you can't have this weapon? Like, because, is it their job?
No, literally. Because I was contemplating this as well when the trial was happening. Because, well, first of all, it wasn't even really a trial. It was a hearing. That's what it was called. It was a hearing. And it's just like, how are you going to tell this person that they cannot bear their arms? And then, like, I'm just like, okay, when it comes to, like, the Second Amendment and stuff, you know what I mean? You know, like, you're not supposed to just be going around building bombs and things like that. But it's like, also, we have to take into consideration that this man is a weapons dealer. Like, it's his job. It's his profession.
Past tense.
Correct. Past tense to make weapons. And so, you know, just because he created this magicalness, this, I don't know what to call it. I'm blanking on the word, so I just said magicalness. This creation, and it's like, who are you to say that he can't keep it in his possession? And then on the other side, I'm just like, oh, it's dangerous. It can cause a lot of mass harm. And like, what if Iron Man is just having a bad day and then decides to tweak out? Okay, but you can say that about someone with a gun as well. There are mass shootings all the time.
Yeah,
we live in that reality. That's not just Marvel.
And I feel
go ahead.
Yeah, actually, I feel like that's just the question. Like, I feel like there probably is. Everyone has an opinion, but I feel like it's one of those questions that's kind of like, I don't know. Like, you could argue both sides pretty easily, but you can also counter argue.
Yeah,
both sides.
I think that the biggest motivation for this is that they don't like Tony. in how we were talking about, well, how I said earlier about people with arrogance and like no ill intent, but they're trying to make him out to be the villain. They want him to be the bad guy so bad, but he's just not doing it.
Yeah. Also, it could just, we don't see any other politicians. It could just be the senator.
Exactly.
Like a personal type grudge.
He literally ended the hearing with "F you, Tony Stark. F you, buddy."
Yeah.
They're like,
that's not professional at all.
You can't say that.
Exactly. And then also going into, okay, well, the government has to keep people safe type of argument. Are they really trying to keep people safe, or are they just trying to like arm themselves? Because as soon as they get it in their own possession, they're gonna use it. Like, they're not just gonna pull it away and keep it for safety.
And also, when they got one in their own possession, they stopped going after Tony. Like, we don't see any more until much further of the government trying to interfere with him as a weapon.
No, yeah, right away it was weaponize it.
How many blickies can I put on this baby?
Right. Like, are you really concerned about the citizen safety, or are you concerned about power?
And I think we know the answer.
Yeah, trying to out-ego the ego.
Literally, it's all a stick contest, and everyone just needs to put it away. Okay, right. On a lighthearted note.
Yeah, on a lighthearted note, I put glasses on. On a lighthearted note, I did not know this man's name was Anthony.
Yes.
Anthony Stark. Yes. I ain't never know that. In the 4-something years I've been watching these films. That's insane. And I watched this movie probably twice. Not that many times.
Yeah. This Tony is short for Anthony.
And her name is Virginia. Virginia Pepper Potts. You didn't catch that?
When did they say that?
I don't remember.
You know, now that you say that, I can remember somebody's name being Virginia, because I sure was thinking towards the end, I was like, where are they even getting Pepper from? Oh, like, is that her real name?
Her middle name.
Oh, probably from when they were like signing the paperwork or something like that. Something having to do with him transferring over. Virginia Pepper Potts.
That's insane. Anthony and Virginia. Those are some old names. No wonder they don't use them. They sound like old. They are. They're not that old.
Not as much. Well, they weren't. They were pretty young at this time. They're like, yeah, call me Tony.
She popped out a kid old. Wow.
You know, white people? That's your favorite phrase when we talk about.
That's really good though. Like a healthy child. Period. Virginia. I still don't like her. Anyways.
You don't like her? You don't like the way that John Favreau.
Well, I don't like her in any of the movies, so.
Well then.
Maybe if she was in a movie with a woman director. Maybe if she was in Black Widow, I might have liked her a little more. Or maybe it's just her character. Alright. Let's touch on Rhodey. And this character actor switch. Let's touch on that first, you know.
So
completely different actor.
In the beginning, when they bring him out, it was such a dramatic situation because they knew that it was going to be like, what? Where did this actor come from? Because they're like, oh, yeah, like now we're going to hear from director Colonel Rhodes. No, not director, but Colonel whatever Rhodes. And you see everybody turn around like, Rhodey? Oh my gosh. And then you see this man with this
black man, dark skinned.
Okay. Right. And just like crazy. That's not Rhodey, but obviously it is Rhodey. There is no confusion of whether that is Rhodey because they literally just said, here comes Rhodey.
See, maybe I wasn't paying enough attention, but I was like, wow, they didn't hint. Usually when like shows or movies, usually when shows or movies make like an actor switch, they make like a lighthearted joke about it. Like in The Fosters, when they switched one of the characters, the actor they switched to was taller. And like, wow, you grew. Like they usually make like some type of joke or something about it. And I didn't notice any joke. Like they just kind of passed it along like he was there the whole time.
No, they definitely made a big thing about it in the beginning where it's just like, yeah, here come Colonel Rhodes. And they were like,
Not big
yeah,
enough.
maybe if you was paying attention.
But I also feel like the actor wasn't just changed. I feel like the character development changed as well. At least how like the actor went about playing the character. Like I feel like those are two different roadies.
Okay, well, tell us the differences that you're saying.
I don't remember. Let me try to pick my noggin. I feel like this roadie is more like I would take him more seriously. Like I feel like he's more mature and older and yeah.
I also think that it is the circumstances that we're seeing their relationship
Mm-hmm.
because at the end of Iron Man 1, you know, well just in Iron Man 1 in general, like Rhodey is like seen as the best friend. Like they're establishing this soft, kind, loving relationship that these two people have together. And then in this one, you're seeing like best friend needs to put you in check cuz bitch, what is you doing right now?
See,
Excuse my language.
right, you can't say that. See, I wasn't getting that at all. I was getting more of like I felt like Rhodey was putting his job first.
Mm.
Yeah, I feel like he was like he stole the weapon and he took it straight to the military. Like I feel like he was my job and my position are first. This is the person I speak to, and then Tony comes after. Like yes, he cared about his friend's well-being, but like his job still came first. And I feel like that was, at least for him, that was the little toss up that he was kind of going through.
And I think that that's the theme of this movie. Like, it is the government going after Tony, and
Mm-hmm.
with Rhodey being in that position, he does have to choose between the two of them. But as for the first one, it was Tony versus someone inside of his thing, inside of
Mm-hmm.
his company. So, like,
They
the
didn't really
government,
have to.
yeah, Rhodey didn't have to worry about, oh, should I be putting my friendship with Tony first or my position with the government first?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I also feel like, though, if I'm remembering correctly, I haven't seen these movies in a while. I feel like even in future movies, he still puts the government first.
Well,
Like,
yeah, because there is a continuous battle in
theme,
between the
yeah.
two. Just like you are a weapon that is not being controlled by the U.S. government. So, what are you doing? Um, but yeah, I would have definitely liked to see how the two actors would have carried out the roles differently, and
Mm-hmm.
if this is genuinely just a part of Rhodey's character development, or if it has something to do with Don Cheadle. I would like to see a different Don Cheadle movie to see like.
Did we look up why they switched last time?
Yes, we did. Should we remind?
Can you remind me?
Yes. It was about the money. It was about the deal. The deal that they were cutting for the previous person was not what they were looking for. It was too low, so they
He
decided to
wasn't
pass
getting
on it.
paid enough.
And then
I wonder
Don Cheadle came
how
in.
actors feel about that, like now. Like after seeing how like far gone and like Rhodey's still currently in the MCU. Like he's still
Until
getting
you're
paid.
90.
Yeah, like I wonder if he's sitting there like, damn, I might have effed up. Like I should have took the lower.
Well, also, like we think about how when it comes to like the actors and stuff that they were pulling for Hulk, like they had all of these movies kind of planned out.
Mm-hmm.
Remember we were talking about that, so it's like it could have been somewhere in the contract about that. I don't know. Like maybe he was just maybe it was the whole thing.
The
like,
long term.
yeah, just like, oh, you want me to dedicate this much time of my life, and you're only giving me what?
Valid.
Yeah,
He's a
no.
big actor, right?
I think so. I'm pretty
I
sure.
know his face, but I don't know
Yeah.
from where.
In movies.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Moving on. I'm very curious, like especially with movies, at least like Marvel movies that don't have like 6 months later, a year later, the whole movie. I'm very curious how long this time span was because I felt like he was dying really quickly. Yeah, he was dying really quickly. Like he jumped from 19% to 53%. And I'm like, sir. And also Jarvis was like, yeah, using the suit's gonna kill you more. And then he throws a tantrum because he's dying. Like
he kept using the suit. I feel like that also helped speed up the dying process.
Yeah.
Because, and the reason that I know this is a week, at the end when they were on the roof, he was like, you're resigning. It's only literally been a week. How's that going to look for you? Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought that was crazy. Like can't complain about dying when you're pushing it along faster.
I mean, you're not going to give him any slack for dying? Like, he's dying.
But he's speeding up the process. Like, he was warned. Jarvis literally told him.
Yes, I understand that, but he's also human. He's not just some robot. Like, oh, I hear this, and so I need to sit here and obey. Like, he has to grieve that the fact that he is losing his life.
So no.
Like, he wasn't taught proper emotional regulation, so this is how he is regulated. Wow, that is so sad. Oh my goodness. Don't give this man any slack at all. What did he do to you?
No grace at all. It's not my fault he got daddy issues. Like,
wow. This man dedicated his life
to
the world. He is an Avenger.
Not even his life, bro. Like 3/4 of it. Not 3/4. 1/4 of it. You know how long for him to be that ignorant for that long? This man was in his 40s, 30s.
30s.
That's insane. You're a grown man.
That's reality.
You're a grown white rich man. And then
he don't get no credit for trying to make up his past.
No, clearly, and not in the movies either. I talk about this, but like Tony in all the movies, he's constantly reminded of all the families that he hurt. Like one of the first words out of Ivan's mouth was about, "What about all the families that you hurt?" And then in the third movie, Homegirl with the picture in a wallet. Or is that the third movie?
No,
one of those movies in the elevator.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. What about my son?
That's how you gonna use her voice like this.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But like, yeah, he like, no, it's not enough. And like, clearly. Anyways.
All right.
Oh, you already know how I feel about this man. Come on now.
So yeah, your bias is very present.
It's not
talking about how he is processing the knowledge of him dying.
Yes.
Right. As long as we can acknowledge your bias.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. All right. I noted how I didn't know his name at first. I just put villain. Ivan, his first words and his very last words are "you lose," which is, I don't know, something to know.
I would agree.
Something to be aware of. Oh.
I'm tired of turning around to get my water. Also, this didn't used to stick to this. It would like stay with the friction, sort of, kind of, but now I can lift it up because I put command strips on there.
Oh, I was gonna say gravity.
No, if I lift up just the thing, gravity gonna hold the rest down, and it's just gonna come up. Anyway, yeah. What's our next topic?
You lose.
Okay, right. So Tony is losing. Yeah.
I feel like that was very clear when he first said it. Like when they first met up, you lose, and like, yeah, he lost. Like clearly. But then I feel like it's kind of like it might be like not a metaphor.
Symbolic.
Yeah, or like a foreshadowing for like the rest of Tony and like the film series.
Yeah, I think that is a good connection because with the song that they finished the movie with, so they finished the last song that they were playing, not including the song that they changed it to during the credits, was Highway to Hell. And I'm just thinking like, wow, that is a very powerful message to be ending the movie off with. Like I don't want to talk about that if we're not at the end of the movie yet.
That's okay.
Right. So, yeah, in the last bit of the movie, he is discussing his analyzation, his analysis, the
Okay.
analysis that Natasha Romanoff did for him. Okay,
Right.
she was
Yes.
analyzing him throughout this week,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay, and he was reading his analysis, and it's like, oh, Tony Stark is not approved for the Avengers Initiative, but Iron Man is. And so it kind of takes you down this, oh, you're on the highway to hell. What's the next movie that Iron Man is going to be in? He's going to be in Avengers. And how, spoiler, this kind of like spirals into this whole mental health issue for him, and how this mess with his soul, and how this also impacts for the movie after that, where they go hide away. So it's just like,
You lose constantly.
you're losing, and then in the end he does lose.
Yeah, and it also touches on when he discovered the new element, how he was like, yeah, this is gonna like change the world. And I feel like for him, he thought, oh yeah, the world's gonna change for the better, but really it didn't. Like it definitely changes the world, but it didn't get any like better in a way, you know?
We also, I feel like they don't touch much into that afterwards. Like this new element got created.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then he put it in his arc reactor, so now he's not dying anymore from what was going in his chest. And then in Iron Man 3, we see how, like, the start of that movie, they're powering the tower with pure clean energy.
Mm-hmm.
And then they kind of don't touch on like energy for the rest of the movie, but I mean the rest of the series. But it kind of is understandable because this is not an energy franchise. It's a superhero franchise.
This is about science. It's about science fiction fantasy.
So they're just like, okay, well, we're done with this. I'm gonna leave that there.
Yeah, but I just mean not like on about the element. I just mean like the quote itself, like the. I feel like irony is not the right word, but the irony of
The irony in Iron Man.
the irony of it,
Irony.
of him be like, yeah, like the world is gonna change in his mind. He's like, yeah, like I'm gonna make the world a better place. Like I'm not dying anymore. I can help people. Yada yada yada. But like back to what I was saying, like you can't have heroes without villains. Like the whole essence of him, like Iron Man just existing in general brings terror and villains and like destruction. And so like it's like the world changes, but it's not like peaking. Like it's doing what it always does.
I mean, when was the world ever getting to the peak? So like
I
you
mean,
said, doing
exactly
what it always does.
Yeah.
And it's also plays into how we were talking about his pride and like other people's egos and things like that, and wanting to knock him down a peg. And I feel like that also where the supervillains come into play, because it's just like, oh, you got all this power, you think you're just gonna have all this power by yourself? Like, I want to publicly put you down.
Yeah, I feel like off topic, like from Marvels and stuff. Excuse me, sorry, but like when I think about, oh, I thought you were making a face at me. When I think about like you can't have a hero without a villain, you can't have a villain without a hero. I think directly of like DC. Like I feel like they do a pretty good job. I haven't seen that many DC movies. I think I'm thinking like cartoon comic wise, or like stories that you hear.
Yeah.
But like yeah, I feel like DC in general is like the epitome of like you can't have one without the other. I feel like I've heard this on a show, and that's why I'm saying it. I want to say it was like a DC. My brain is saying Teen Titans, but I feel like that's so wrong. But I feel like their storylines and stuff arc around that, and I don't know if like when Marvel creates, like they think about that. I feel like their depthness doesn't go into that. I feel like they go deep, clearly into like how big and grand can we make this? How much of outer space can we touch on, and etc. etc. Not like the root of why is Thanos here, because someone put serum in someone's arm, you know?
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't even know if any of that made any sense.
It does make sense because it has me thinking about, let's do a little DC segue here. Has me thinking about the Joker movie and how in the Joker movie they kind of touch on how Bruce's dad could have possibly fathered Joker and sent him off away with his mom somewhere, and like because of that craziness, he then I don't know. It didn't really touch on if he had anything to do with the murders of his parents. No, I don't think he did. But
I haven't seen
anyway,
that in a while.
hmm?
I only seen that once.
Oh, it's okay. But like, yeah. Excuse me. Yes, they touch on them being fathered together, so like being brothers and shit. And then like moving forward, he tries to go to the Wayne house to get acknowledgement, and that makes him snap, makes him go crazy, turns him into the Joker.
In the Joker movie?
Mhm.
I don't think I was paying attention to that movie.
It was a really long movie. This was like towards the middle, a little bit before he really went batshit crazy.
Yeah. Wow. I was just very curious about the bird. Why is the bird important? Like, why did they put the bird in there?
I think that so in the beginning, the bird was there with him and his father. And so when he requests his bird, once again, now that he has his freedom, well, freedom ish, he was there working. He's like, okay, if this is a place where I'm supposed to be comfortable, then I want my bird. And I think that excuse me, bird has something to do with his relationship with his father. I would guess that. I think maybe to show that even though Ivan is a villain, he is a human.
Mm-hmm.
He has emotions, he has attachments, he has relationships. And even though he has murderous intent towards Tony Stark, he can care for something as insignificant as a bird. Insignificant to the grander scheme of other people's views. Okay? They would be like, oh, you would rather kill a person, but you don't want to see this bird get hurt.
He almost killed a little kid. That was crazy.
Well, he didn't do that personally. He programmed the drones to look out for the Iron Man mask and photon.
Okay, I thought he was behind the computer, like beep boop beep boop.
No, at that time he was already gone from the computer. Okay. At that time, that's when Natasha and Happy were at the Hammer facilities.
I was like, damn, like he finna shoot up this kid? That's crazy. Just for supporting Tony.
And he definitely has questionable judgment, considering that he is willing to put the whole Stark Expo Park at risk for this situation. So, whether or not he realizes it, yes, he was trying to kill kids, but he also didn't want to kill that bird, didn't want that bird to get hurt.
Yeah, and it's also interesting, though, because, like you're saying, part of home, and then they don't get his bird. Like, they give him, first of all, how do they know what his bird looks like to get him a different bird, but not the actual bird? Like, what happened to the actual bird that you couldn't get the real bird?
I think that, maybe they went out on a quest or something. I don't know. I genuinely do not know. That's a great question.
Yeah, to get the exact same bird, but it wasn't his bird.
This is not my bird.
Yeah, that was really
my bird.
That was really good.
Get her on, Kevin. You are silly. Oh my goodness. But
like, yeah, even though it wasn't his bird, he still took care of the bird.
Well, yes. After when the bird came, okay, he's like, WTF, this ain't my bird, y'all. What's going on? And they're like, learn to let go. And then he said the same thing about the drones, and he's just like, all right, like maybe my bird died or something. Like, I've been gone half a week, daddy dead, so because, like, what was his plan? He went out there to go slash up the race, the track.
His plan was to kill Tony Stark.
But now all of a sudden he's concerned about the bird. Like, what did he do with the bird when he left?
Maybe he thought he was going back home.
I don't know. That was a real flashy attempt of death.
Or maybe he thought he was taking Tony's place.
Mm-hmm.
And then he could afford to fly his bird out.
And it's so crazy because we don't really get a lot of information about his motives. It's just, oh, you mess with my family, now my daddy dead, so I'm coming after you.
Revenge. Yeah, it's like kind of like a simple-minded villain when they came to like creating his character development.
Yeah,
it's interesting, but also it is like only the second movie in the franchise. I feel like the villains got more, like the longer they stay, the more development you see, which makes sense because they have time.
That's true.
To develop.
Right.
Back again to my memory and forgetting, not realizing what's really happening in this film the first couple times watching it. I love
how we're pointing with guns.
Sorry,
Miss Romanoff.
But like in his birthday scene when I first watched it, I was like, why is everyone freaking out? Like, why are they being so dramatic right now? But also like Tony's hammered because he thinks he's dying. And so it makes sense. Maybe I'm just weird because like not knowing why he's acting the way he was acting, I was like, why are they being dramatic? But like them not knowing why he's acting the way he's acting, they're like, what the heck is this man doing? Like we had two complete different responses to his actions.
Wait, when did they start like screaming and
the birthday scene?
I know you're talking about the birthday scene, but what part of the birthday scene?
Right when Pepper walked in there and Rhodey. I'm talking about them.
Okay.
Them overreacting.
Okay, I thought you were talking about the party goers. The party goers are having a great time. What are you talking about? Yes.
The responsible adults in the room.
Rhodey and Pepper.
Virginia.
They're just like, yeah, what the heck is happening? We can see that he's not acting normal, but like, is this one of his normal...
Wait, Rhodey knows.
Rhodey didn't know that he was dying.
Anyways, yes, at this point, it's not... Tony didn't exactly... I also took my glasses off. Tony didn't exactly say, hey, I'm dying.
Once I went over there to go to the camera, I was thinking, I was like, oh.
Rhodey at least is hinted at that Tony is dying.
Like, something's wrong with him.
And see, this is back to, like, I feel like putting his job first. Or, like, maybe his tough love is horrible. Because, like, you know why he's acting this way. And I don't see any little bit of sympathy, like, in how he's reacting to Tony in this scene at all.
Yeah. I think that they're also, like, caught up in the past idea that they have of Tony in their head. That they have this immature person, doesn't care about anyone but themselves in their head about who Tony used to be. And now that he is evolving and changing, and then all of a sudden now he's dying, and so like he is kind of lashing out in a very self-destructive way. It's like, honestly though, with his birthday party, I feel like he was begging for attention.
He also didn't want to have it. Like, I feel like he knew what he was capable of and what was going to happen.
I mean, yeah, because he tried not to have the birthday party. When they were on the flight back from where were they? Paris? They were in somewhere in France. When they were on their way back from France, he's just like, let's actually stay in Europe, go somewhere else, chill it all down, recharge our batteries. Not everyone runs on batteries, Tony. He was like, okay, you got me there. You got me there. Now, when these batteries stop going, I didn't turn the king, but it's fine. Like, yes, like, and at the end, she's like, you're dying? Why didn't you say me? He's like, I made you an omelet over eggs. We could have been in Venice right now.
And the strawberries. That was crazy, eh?
That he didn't know that she was allergic to strawberries.
There's only one thing in the entire world that I'm allergic to. Strawberries.
Las frescas.
I swear, I just bought strawberries. I swear if these strawberries are moldy, I'm going to riot.
Who are you going to riot? Are you buying organic strawberries?
No.
Maybe that is your first problem.
I bought strawberries from Target. I bought strawberries from Pick and Save. My mom has bought strawberries from Aldi's. They have all been moldy in like 1 to 2 days. And I'm like, dude, we literally just bought these strawberries.
Mm-hmm. I think it's the stuff that they're spraying on it. Try organic berries next time. I have been seeing things when they're like talking about the list of fruits that you should be buying organic versus the ones that are fine to just buy normally, and strawberries and like blueberries, like berries in general. Definitely one of the things that you want to buy organic.
Okay, I remember the next time because I went to Sendex this time, and the organic strawberries were $6.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
So I was like, okay, I'm at Sendex. Hopefully they're fine. That's why it took so long, because I was washing my berries and I was putting them away.
It's all right.
I swear, I'm gonna have to go to freaking Whole Foods or something to get my freaking fruits. Damn. All right, moving on. This scene is also like where we see Rhodey come into like his hero arc. It's so
cringy.
Yes, because they have like the zoom in of like the hero face of like the I have to jump into action. And he runs and gets the suit. I'm like, why? Like, I understand why, but like, come on. And then
these are the classics. So this is where they're building that.
Yeah, I know. And then also Tony calls him War Hero and like War Machine.
Yes, like he literally gave him the name.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
It's like now you see
foreshadowing
the new character. Yep. Also, they noted on how like Tony just let Rhodey have the suit, and I think it'd be interesting to like, wonder why.
What do you mean you wonder why? He was dying. He was in his philanthropist bag. Okay.
But yeah, but like I feel like Tony would have known that he would have gave the suit to the military. It's like, was this his way of like giving up?
I mean, yeah, because he was dying. He gave away all his art collection. He put Pepper.
That's why he was giving away his art collection.
Yeah,
I thought he just cared about the Boy Scouts.
I mean, sure, he has some kind of care about the Boy Scouts. That's why he decided to donate it to them. But yeah, like he wrote the company's name into Pepper. And also, like Natasha mentioned, that only authorized users could fly the suit.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, he knew what was going on. Even there was something else that I was gonna say, but I forgot.
But yeah, I get it. I still think it's interesting though, because he knew he was dying in that press conference too, though. Maybe because he trusted Rhodey.
In the press conference or in the hearing in the beginning?
In the hearing. Maybe because he trusted Rhodey. Because like he knew Rhodey was gonna give it to the government and the military, but they were gonna get it anyway. So it's very interesting why. Not interesting. I'm answering my own question as I'm going through this, but like why he didn't just give it to them himself, but it's because he trusts in some sense his best friend. Trusts Rhodey more. He don't act like a best friend. Like not Tony, Rhodey. Like in this scenario, Rhodey is below Tony because he does not act like a best friend. But yeah, he trusts Rhodey more to like do what's right with the military, yada yada. Anyways, yeah.
I want to segue into that though. When they were going dismantling the suit, okay, and Rhodey is going in with his bare hands taking the arc reactor out, I'm just like, what are this man's qualifications? Like what?
None.
Like exactly, like we don't get any information about Colonel Rhodes, and that is just like, that's crazy. Is he just another black bestie? Like he's just the black bestie.
That's correct.
That's all his character is. And it's just like,
who directed this? A white man.
He's just sitting there like, okay, yeah, I'm here with y'all while y'all dismantling the suit. Like, are you a physicist? Like these other people are who's messing around with these arc reactors? Like,
no one. No one on his team either. That were taking it apart. Also, I found it really annoying when he was surprised that his officer above him was like, yeah, we're gonna weaponize it. Weaponize it? What did you think they were gonna do? Put it in the closet?
There's a lot of naive things.
Like, be for real. You look like Blade. Even though you don't like motorcycles. I've never seen them before.
Blade rides a motorcycle?
I have no idea what I'm talking about.
All I know is that Blade kills vampires.
Yeah.
Good thing that you would choose to be a werewolf.
Okay. So let's go into the grouping of why I hate women characters in the early 2000s.
Hate is such a strong word.
Hate how they not hate women. Hate how they portray women in early 2000 movies.
Dude, that scene where they were walking up the stairs and when they got to the expo, like they took a whole chunk of time out to just watch Pepper and Natasha walking up the stairs, doing a little catwalk up the stairs in their pencil skirts, swinging their hips side to side. I'm just like, while Happy, the director, is at the bottom watching. I'm just like,
I didn't notice that, but the scene in the car of her getting dressed was unnecessary. Why was that in the movie? Why?
And then with Happy oogling,
literally,
eyes on the road. I got it.
Like, this movie over-sexualized Natasha.
No, literally, with her giving, like, the eyes to Tony and everything. Just, it was crazy. And a part of me does think about, like, okay. Wait, hold on. Excuse me. A part of me does wonder if that is because Tony has a hypersexualized idea of women in his head already. And so in order for Natasha to get close to him and really evaluate him how she wanted to, she had to play into that sexualized character so that she can get close.
You're thinking like a woman. This movie was directed by a man.
I know.
Like, we want to think that way. But, like, all the other scenes lead us to think a different way. Because, like, this movie is very talked about nowadays. Like with men. Like, oh, he was written by a woman. Or you can tell he's written by a man. Like, you can tell this movie was directed and written by a man. Like, it is very cut and clear. Mm-hmm. Especially because there's a scene at the birthday. Back to the birthday scene. Where, okay, I didn't realize they cut this part out of the movie where Natasha is, like, with Iron Man shooting his arm thing or whatever. They cut that out. But there's a scene now, just a standalone scene, where Potts is, like, yelling at Natasha about Tony acting up and stuff like that. I'm like, this is a grown man. Like, why are you yelling at his assistant? That's not his babysitter.
When was this?
In the birthday scene. When he's, I don't know at what time.
Oh, it's like after the I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Also, side note into that, because like Natasha's like, oh yeah, I would do, because he's like, oh, if this was your last birthday ever, hypothetically, what would you do? Like, how would you celebrate? And she's like, I would do what I want with who I want. Yeah. And then when Pepper is yelling at her, you see that she got on a completely different outfit, a very, cute or whatever. And I'm just like, are they trying to insinuate something here? Like,
and then Tony making jokes like, green doesn't look good on you, like jealousy. You didn't catch that?
That was good.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude. And then, me and Miss Virginia, girl is like, no,
I'm calling her that all season.
Yep, her government name. She's like, no, I'm gonna stay behind. Stay behind and do what? Like, if one of these androids come over here, what are you gonna do? Yell and scream?
She had said, I'm gonna stay behind and make sure everyone is getting out the park. Like, make sure everyone gets out. And that's more understandable now because she is CEO. So, like, Stark Expo is her expo, too. So she's like, damn, if I leave and someone else didn't make it out, like, now I'm the dickhead.
But also,
right, because you just gotta hate on her. Can't give no credit.
Broken machine that's blinking a red light.
Okay,
and you're gonna stand. She looks like a lost puppy. She turned her head, the little confused puppy head, and was like, huh? And she just stares at it. Girl, move, do something.
I feel like it's definitely a big part of media, even in the media world, that if something is blinking, it starts blinking slow and then it starts speeding up. That's gonna give me, this is probably an explosive. I should probably get away.
Or like, even if she thought, okay, maybe it's coming back to life, leave. Like,
there was no thoughts. There was only just awareness.
They make her so annoying. Like, no, I'm gonna stay behind. Like, I'm gonna scream because I'm about to die. Why would you stay behind then?
She stayed behind to make sure everyone got out.
Well, then move when you know you're about to die. You're literally gonna blow up. You should have left her. Damn.
You have some unresolved anger. We need to go to a rage room or something because all the anger you're taking out of Miss Virginia Pepper Potts here is crazy.
You know what would be interesting? If a woman redid this movie. I really want to see how she... No. On a serious note. I really want to see how she would redo Virginia and Natasha's character in this movie in particular. Because you can see Natasha, like, get character development and get less sexualized as the movies go on. Like, literally the difference between Black Widow and her in any of the movies. Like, you can tell Black Widow was directed by a woman. It's so obvious. Like, look at her outfit. Look at the posters, you know? So I feel like it'd be interesting to see. Anyways.
Now, are we saying looking at her outfit, like, because it's not as skin tight?
Yeah, sexualized, yeah. Like, look at... Also her poses. Look at the poses in any of the posters, like, pre. They're very, like, yeah. Sexualized. Just touching on, I don't remember his name, Hammer? Touching on Hammer a little bit, like when he called the little bullet, like the ex-wife, I was like, yeah, you look like you have an ex-wife. Like, this man is gross and weird.
Yeah, I don't like his facial hair. I don't like the way he talks. Yeah, and he played an a-hole in a different movie too, so it's just like, ooh, like, you just give me creepy vibes. Like, he definitely does a good job of having that weird white man look.
Yeah.
And also, he is such a little baby. Like, he freaking came to throw a little tantrum. Came to throw a tantrum. And he's like, this is not what I wanted. Like, I can't believe we had a deal. We made a contract.
Yeah. Take his bird. Take his pillow. Take his shoes.
He's... Because that's how I feel. I'm upset. You took me from me.
Like,
oh.
I didn't know this before, but like in the expo when they were trying to figure out what was going on, he was like, get these B words out of here.
No, literally. And I was like,
sir, this is why you're single.
And then also for the ex-wife not to work.
Hammer technology?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's enough airtime for him. I want to give credit where credit is due. I didn't know this man was a genius till last 4 weeks ago. It's crazy how much brain power it takes to acknowledge a new element. Like, how the heck did Tony look at this map and looked in the center right away? Like, when he saw the thing, he saw it right away. Like, it didn't take, like, a second or anything like that.
Well, also, you have to think about the night previously. He was watching his father talk about it over and over and over again. He did have that seed planted in his head. Not saying that what he did was not beautiful. Because, like, also...
You're not smart.
Because the tag for this replica is the key to the future is here. Mm-hmm. Like, it's literally obvious. It's painted right there. Like, for Tony's big brain, like you said, he figured out in a second. He said, oh, the key to the future is here. That means the answer is on here. And, like, he had it that whole time. The whole time. He was just too smart for his own good. And I think that Howard played into that with the way that he set that up, because it's just like, we know that Tony is smart. Tony knows that he's smart. And so he's going to be getting in his own way with his own, like, ego. Like, we've been talking about this whole time. And with that, it's like, okay, you're going to have to digest your ego enough to be able to be at a level to understand this. So he like put it in his face so that he could always have it there, but like knew that he wouldn't figure it out until he was ready. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I just find it crazy. Because, like, me...
Right, you hate him, so it's like you would never think that he's super duper smart.
No, that's not what I was gonna say. I was giving him credit for being a genius. But like, if I was in his position, bro, I'd be staring at the board for days. Like, what am I supposed to be looking at right here? Like, I would have picked up the little thing that he picked up when he was a kid. That's what I was thinking of at first. I would never guess, like, This is a new element? No. Also, never mind. I was thinking, how did
he said, oh, this looks like an atom. So he didn't look at the board and see an element. He looked at the board and he saw an atom. And then from that, he was able to see the element.
Still would have never. I want to touch on, like, the teasers of Cap and Thor. Thor's was a little.
If you know, you know, you know.
Yeah, but like Cap was very interesting because they have this like half shield thing.
It's like the first replica, or not first replica, but like the first designing of the shield and stuff. Coulson's like, what are you doing with this? And it's funny how you're like, oh yeah, this is a mention for Captain America. And I'm like, oh, this is a mention of how Coulson is such a fanboy. Like, he is fanboying so hard.
I didn't even think about that at all.
How do you know what this is? And then just for Tony to be like, oh yes, I know exactly what it is.
Yes.
What I need.
I feel like it was.
And then that's also a nice kind of play into their relationship.
Stop taking the words out of my mouth.
Give them to me.
Let me think. Jesus, I was going to say that.
Say it right now.
I like how, like, when you, not even knowing anything, like first watching it, but like watching it back, seeing how, yeah, it's a literal perfect representation, at least of how Tony sees their relationship in the beginning. Because of course their relationship evolves and they're like, I need you.
But like also, Tony kind of has a relationship with Captain America already. Like, Captain America was this project, this baby boy that Howard was putting so much love and energy to.
The son he never had. I said that correctly.
No, because he had a son.
Not in Tony's eyes. Not how Tony saw their relationship.
Wait, are you talking that Howard was saying that Cap was a son he never had?
Yeah.
No. Oh, you said in Tony's eyes.
Yes.
Okay. I thought you were saying something else. Anyway, I get it now. I took off my jacket.
Jumping into the next thing. I don't know if this is significant or not, but like once he puts in the new heart piece, we see like maybe it is. It probably is. The transition from like a circle to like a triangle. And wondering like why they decided to make a new design. Is this representing like the new, answering my own question, representing like the new Tony Stark and his new era and yada,
well,
yada,
also
yada.
like the element, the power of his suit. Like, yes, it's still a circle that he puts into his chest, but the main power component is that triangle that he charged up. So it's not just like this big circle thing. It's that.
Yeah. Okay, just a little like funny little thing. When they were fighting in whatever swamp, Tony and Rhodey, and how they were arguing about like the big guns and stuff like that, I was like, that's literally if me and you we're like fighting side by side. Like that would be the conversation we would be having.
Absolutely.
Before danger comes.
110%. Gotta keep it light, keep it fresh, keep it funky.
Yeah.
Can't take anything too seriously.
Yeah. But we're better friends than Rhodey is.
Right.
Just Rhodey. Tony is a good friend, I'll give him that. Rhodey sucks. Wow.
Rating Rhodey as a friend, how many infinity stars? I mean infinity stones.
Out of 6? 2. Like he's there sometimes. A small little thing. When Ivan first met up with Hammer and he was hacking his system and stuff like that, he was like, your system sucks. And then Natasha gets to his little bunker, stuff like that, she hacks it right away. So either it's a note that his system sucks, or it's a note to show how like intelligent Natasha is.
I think more so how intelligent Natasha is, because it's very much so established that like Hammer Industry, what they do, what they create is just like a knockoff. It's a knockoff of Tony Stark. Like you can't even be a knockoff of Tony because he's not even that good. No, literally. Like
below Dollar General.
I don't know. He dirt. He mud Tony. Yeah. Play-Doh Tony. That's what he is.
Play-Doh's kind of fun.
I mean, yeah, it's fun. But it don't taste good.
It's like Play-Doh that's like sat out.
And
it's hard.
Dry and crunchy. Can't mold it. Get flaky and crusty.
Did you used to have quicksand or like kinetic sand?
No, but I wanted some. So
I had it. My mom hated it.
She hated it?
Yeah, I had to keep it at my grandfather's house because she hated it. It would get like in the carpet and stuff.
What about vacuum? It didn't work.
I don't know, girl. I was like 9.
You don't know how vacuums work?
But he had like a big glass table, and I used to have to play with it on there.
Oh, you didn't like have a dish or something? Okay. Was it fun?
Yeah.
I thought it was cool how like it was water resistant.
I don't remember that much details. I got pretty spoiled by my grandfather, so like all of my cool stuff was at his house. And my fish too, that died.
R.I.P. your fish. What was the fish name?
I don't remember him.
Good vibes though.
Anyways.
Okay, what are we talking about?
I don't know. We can move on.
I feel like I didn't notice as much sexual tension between Tony and Pepper in this movie as I did in the first one. Like you can see it in like the conversations they have with each other, but in this movie I didn't see it as much. And for them to like full blown kiss at the end was like, I feel like out of left field. Like I feel like it wasn't built up enough in this movie, like standalone. At least from Pepper's side, but Tony's just a flirt in general. So,
but I think that it's more so about like the care that they have for each other. I'm green. I wasn't green. The relationship that they have and like how much she cares and just like this pull of back and forth of, and I think that it's to show like their relationship is deeper than just, shallow sexual attraction.
The last thing I had was when at the very last scene when we're with Fury and Tony, and there's like a board in the back, and there's like pins on the board. I'm like, I wonder, because this is S.H.I.E.L.D. at this point. Who are those people? Like, are those agents that they have pinned? Are those superhero beings that they have pinned and like they're eyeing? Because they're always eyeing people because they had the Avengers project going.
Now, can you get more depth into this? Because right now I'm just thinking a corkboard and there's some pins in it, and I'm like,
this is like an electric
okay,
board. Like a whiteboard, but like technical. Right. There's a map of the world, and there's like not pins, but there's like
little markers.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Now I completely understand. I would have to say that those would be other Avengers. Possibly.
Which is like another hint at
what's the next.
And then the whole end scene credit was.
Did you happen to see a pin near like the architect?
I didn't look down there, no.
Okay. Or somewhere in Southeast Asia.
Well, at this point, Cap is awake, right?
Right, Cap has been found.
Yeah.
Cap is awake.
He's in New York.
Yeah. Oh,
incoming.
Hold on.
There's a camera. Careful.
Are you uploading something?
No.
I can actually just dog shit.
Wow.
Anyways.
And then the last instant credit is just a big hint at Thor, which isn't even the next movie. I'm pretty sure Captain America is next. It was very interesting that they didn't hit at Cap. Well, they did without the audience realizing it, but they hinted at Thor.
Yeah, they hinted at Thor more than once. Including the end scene credit, it will be 3 times.
What was the third time?
So the first time was when he was sitting in the restaurant with Fury, and he was like, I got a situation in the southwest region that is more important than this.
I didn't catch that one.
And then the second,
It's
like, yeah, I'm being assigned to a New
Mexico. I gotta go to New Mexico. I have to meet the scientist and take all of her equipment.
So rude.
So rude. Poor Jane.
It's just time for rating time.
All right, Iron Man 2 out of 6 Infinity Stones.
I will give her a solid 4 Infinity Stones.
I keep reading this is an out of 5. I'm like, damn, that's
Like
high.
4 out of 5, girl? No, give him 4 out of 6. Okay, because like it was another Iron Man movie. Like I know what's coming next, and it's just like it was cool. It was whatever. Wasn't that great. Wasn't horrible though. So 4.
Yeah. I feel like the first Iron Man was better. I don't remember what I rated it. So I want to give this one like a 2.5 to a 3. Like you don't have to make this character, but like a 2.75. That's what I would give this movie. Last movie that you watched? Movie that you recommend? Right. All right. Last movie that I watched, Deadpool. Movie that I recommend. I'm not watching anything cool. That's a lot. Did we watch Step Up before or after Deadpool? Before? Okay, so Deadpool. I'm not watching a movie right now. I'm rewatching How I Met Your Mother, which is a great like sitcom. So I would recommend that. I forgot you don't have a mic. That's why you're like, go first. I thought you were just thinking.
Thank you. I actually have my hand out to get the mic because I thought you were asking me the question. So like, I need the mic. You are funny though.
LMFAO.
Yeah, the last movie that I watched was definitely Deadpool. And what movie I would recommend? I would recommend the original Deadpool. Okay? It's a great movie. Definitely better than this one, the one that just came out.
Definitely better. Deadpool 1 but Deadpool 2?
Deadpool 1, like for sure. Deadpool 1 is a beautiful movie. I will watch it. I've watched it many times.
All right.
Yeah.
You want to wrap us up?
I guess I'll wrap us up since the mic keeps dying. Thank you for joining us here on Beyond the Film podcast for this lovely episode. Okay, our socials will be down in the description below. Make sure you follow. Make sure you follow us on Spotify. Make sure you subscribe to our channel on YouTube here. Okay, our last vlog is out, and you should go check it out and watch it. It's been out for 2 weeks now. Thank you very much. Make sure you leave us a comment. Let us know how many Infinity Stars you will rate this movie. Let us know if you think that a woman director would have been better to see than a male director when it comes to our, female actress counterparts, okay? Our characters. Thanks for joining us here. We appreciate it. We will see you all in the next episode. Next episode, we should be talking about Captain America? ? We'll find out. Either Captain America or Thor, but most likely Captain America. Okay. Bye.